1.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 11 of Jays Banter, your weekly voice of reason for the Toronto Blue Jays. Unfortunately, we didn't have an episode last week as both Mo and I were busy. I was on vacation and Mo was caught up with work, but here we are, back at it. And Mo, how you doing? As usual, my co-host.
Doing just fine. Been at work, been with baseball. Personally, not with the Blue Jays, but it's nice to get back in the podcast section and just talk about some Blue Jays, you know?
Absolutely. Last week it felt like a withdrawal not to get up on a Thursday and do this podcast, but I'm glad you're doing okay. The Blue Jays have been doing okay as well. They've won 11 of their last 17 games. They lost their last game against Texas. That was yesterday, the final game of the 3-game series. The Jays couldn't close out the Rangers with a sweep, but they did take out 2 out of 3. And Rougned is an idiot. All right, let's start there. Jays beat the Rangers 19-4, and Rougned has some antics. So what's your take on that right off the bat?
So earlier in this year, I believe we went down to Texas, and Rougned talked about how he didn't appreciate the Blue Jays flipping the bats, but then proceeded to do a bat flip on a really just like a small home run. And then earlier in the series, Monday night, he hit a home run, which I believe cut the deficit. Was it 11?
I believe it was even more than that. 14, 13, I can't remember.
Yeah, something around there, but he took his sweet old time around the bases and then tried to do that Conor McGregor walk back to the dugout. I mean, he's just a clown at this point, man. It's just that he just wants attention, and Jose Bautista lives in his head rent-free, it looks like, still. So it's kind of sad to see he's going out like this, but hey, he's hitting now, 208, 206? Can't really worry about that guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least back in 2015 when the Jays played the Rangers, Rougned was a quality baseball player at that point. He wasn't like a star or anything like that, but he was at least somewhat decent. Look at his numbers for the last few years. He's just been an awful baseball player. That's just the only way to put it. The last few seasons, he's been terrible. Negative WAR seasons. He's got OPS pluses in not even triple digits. So for a guy who likes to talk a lot, he better be focusing on his career because it might not last much longer if he continues to put up these horrid seasons one after another. But anyway, we just wanted to get that out of the way. Rougned, he's an idiot, and we can't get consumed with his antics because, well, let's face it, it's not worth consuming about. Anyway.
Throw a fastball up and in, strikeout.
There you go. You don't have to throw one over the plate because he's going to swing it. His on-base percentage is now 276, which is really not pretty. But on to bigger and better things. Bo Bichette, when we last had our podcast, he was just getting his feet wet in the big leagues. I believe he just got his first couple games under his belt. But a lot has happened since then. Bo Bichette has been on an absolute tear over the past few weeks. He had an 11-game hit streak that was recently snapped in the Texas series, I believe, or was it the Yankees? It was the Yankees series, my bad.
Yeah.
He had 9 consecutive games with an extra base hit. He's got 12 doubles in how many games? It's 17 career games, which is off the charts. On the season, he's currently hitting .365 with an OPS of over 1,100 at 1.109, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs, already with a 1.2 wins above replacement. Bo Bichette has been absolutely fantastic. So I think if you're a Blue Jays fan, you can't help but be ecstatic with the way he's come on, and you really couldn't have asked for a better start from him.
Yeah, definitely. When Vladdy came up first, we were expecting Vladdy to be that guy that was going to give us instantly some pop off the bat, instantly going to give some reasons to watch the game. But Vladdy had a slow start to the major leagues. The pressure got to him, but Vladdy's had a nice few months in the big leagues as he comes up.
I was going to say that. Sorry to cut you off, but I was going to say that Vladdy has been absolutely outstanding as well, but it's almost as if it's, who cares? Bo Bichette's been that much better. I mean, Vlad, I put up the stats now, but I believe he's hitting well over 300 in his last few weeks or so of games, and it's almost as if no one really knows that anymore because Bo's just absolutely tearing the cover off the ball.
Yeah, both of them have been absolutely amazing, and obviously everything we could have dreamed of from a Blue Jays fan perspective. But with Bo Bichette, we finally have a leadoff hitter in Toronto. We couldn't say that until we had Ben Revere a few years back, and it's really nice to see Bo Bichette come on, just start hitting a tear just like he did in the minor leagues. We know what he can do in the nice flow. He has 27 hits already in 74 at-bats, which is good for a 365 average. With 4 home runs and 8 RBIs and 2 stolen bases. And he's been pretty steady in the field, showing some flashy plays and has a great arm in the field. So Bo Bichette will certainly be a cornerstone player. And right now, fans might think he's better than Vladdy Jr., but guys, they're both amazing players, and we should just appreciate their greatness.
And while it's very good to be excited about these two guys, I think now is probably the time to be a little cautious of the fact that they're still learning. They don't even have 300 at bats under their belt. I mean, I think Vladdy does, but Bo certainly does not under their belt. So it's important to know that at times Bo Bichette's going to struggle, like Vladdy did coming on. It's just the ebbs and flows of a baseball season, and I think if you're going to expect Bo Bichette to keep on this tear that he's on, that'll cause for disappointment. No one has ever, in the history of Major League Baseball, had a career OPS of over 1,100. The closest one was Lou Gehrig, who had 1.0880 OPS. So, while this has been an outstanding tear from cornerstone players like Vlad and Bo, I think you also have to be a little cautious that eventually there will be time for a learning curve and some growing pains to come with that. So that's just putting it out there, trying to be a little cautious there before we lose it on these guys. But you mentioned Bo Bichette on his defense. I know you wanted to talk about his defense, and there has been a few struggles out there. So what are you trying to bring up with that?
With the Bo Bichette defense, we've heard in the minor leagues that he was supposed to be an okay defender. He might not stick at shortstop, and maybe later down in the future lies a second base job for Bo Bichette. But he certainly has a range of a shortstop right now. We've seen that yesterday with a nice snag, sliding to his left and just picking it off the ground, throwing it to first on a strike. So he certainly has a strike. He kind of reminds me of, not trying to throw any shade, but kind of like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. last year. He showed some promise, but like some promise, they did show some struggles. Bo Bichette has botched a few, I would say, simple plays for regular Major League shortstop. But hey, he's just a rookie, so I just want to bring up that maybe second base slides down in the future for Bo Bichette. I do not have his errors, but I believe he already has a couple of errors, 3 to 4 errors already.
He's got four on the year.
Yeah, 4 errors already, so that's not great. But it's nice to see him doing some flashy plays. But we're going to need some steady defense up the middle band. Cavan Biggio's manning second base right now, and we don't know if Vladdy's going to go to first base soon in the future. We've seen Brandon Drury playing first base a while. Now we got Rowdy Tellez playing first base. So maybe Cavan goes to first, Bo goes to second. Maybe we Jordan Groshans play shortstop in the future for the Blue Jays. I don't know, but right now, Bo Bichette should be the shortstop. He should cut down on those errors for sure.
Yeah, from a statistical standpoint, his DRS is +1, which is good. His ultimate zone rating, his UZR is negative, which isn't all that good. But if you're looking at Major League stats at this point, it's just not much of a sample size. Only 124 innings at shortstop this season in the big league. So I think really with the errors and his overall defense as a whole, it's just going to take time. It's going to take time working with Luis Rivera at shortstop day in and day out, and eventually hoping that he can grow into an everyday Major League player. It's just going to come with work and time and learning at the big league level. And that'll segue us into our next topic, learning at the big league level. Cavan Biggio, who has not been all that hot recently, hitting just $175 with an OPS of 620 in his last 30 games. He's a guy who obviously has been having very good at-bats. He gets on base a lot, walks a lot, but when it comes to overall hitting, has been a little underwhelming, to say the least. But before I go on, would you like to take over on this topic?
Yeah, I was going to drop a hot take just a second, but I just feel like Cavan Biggio looks like a professional hitter. He belongs in the major leagues, but I just feel like he's a tad overrated by Blue Jays fans. I believe Blue Jays fans always like to come with the big three of Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette, and then Cavan, but maybe it's because of his dad, his pops, Craig Biggio, but I just don't really see the hype with Cavan Biggio too much. I feel like he'll be a decent player, but definitely not a cornerstone player for the Blue Jays. And I feel like Blue Jays fans are kind of underestimating Danny Jansen. Personally, I would take Danny Jansen any day over Kevin Biggio. I've seen a lot of people saying Kevin Biggio over Danny Jansen, but personally, I don't see Kevin Biggio as a cornerstone player for this team. I don't know why. He kind of strikes out too much. He gets on base, thankfully to the walks, and he's got some speed, and he certainly got some pop. I just don't really... And his defense is kind of mediocre, to be honest.
It's a bit of a negative rundown on Kevin Biggio there, but my overall perception of Kevin Biggio is, personally, I think he's a guy who can certainly be that cornerstone player. I mean, you obviously kind of disagree, as you mentioned there, but I feel that a guy who can take walks such as he does and can identify a pitch, whether it's a strike or a ball, at his level, at his rookie year, that 24-year-old season, 66 games in the big leagues, is very impressive to me. And I think he's a guy who certainly has a lot of skills. He just yet to really put it all together. But I think, as I mentioned, his ability to identify a ball and a strike will really help as he grows into a big league hitter. He's got occasional pop. He's got 10 home runs this season in 280 plate appearances. So, I mean, if you transition that to a full year, that works to about 20 plus. And also his speed isn't too bad either. He's 9 for 9 in stolen bases already. So he could be a 20-20 guy. His defense, yeah, it might not be great. It's below average. It has been below average, but certainly, as we mentioned with Bo Bichette, a guy who can work into that and become a good player. Yeah, he might not be a 4 to 5 win All-Star, but I certainly think he can be a very good player, and a very good everyday player on the Blue Jays. That's just my take on him.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be a solid player, but I just don't know why he keeps getting mentioned in the same conversations as Bichette and Vladdy Jr. Like, he's 24 years old, 3 to 4 years older, and he's not a good defender, and he was never close to being a top prospect for the Blue Jays. So I just don't feel like he'll be that. He won't. I don't think he'd be a key piece for a contending Blue Jays team. That's just my opinion.
All right. I think the big reason as to why they're all mentioned in the same category together is because they were sort of groomed up in the major leagues and came through the pipelines together. I don't think anyone's really out there saying that Kevin Biggio's better than Vladdy Guerrero or Bo Bichette, but I think the comparisons are strictly on the basis of they just came up to the big leagues together at the same time. So that sort of draws comparisons there as well. I do agree with you. I don't think he's going to be better than Bo or Vlad, but I think I'm a little more high on him than you are. But anyway, we're going to move on now. No, sorry, go ahead.
This last point, I do, with all the negativity I'm saying, I don't mean to disrespect Kevin Biggio, but do feel like he'll be a solid big leaguer for this team, but just gonna wait and see if he can adjust and see if he can provide more for this team. Just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, and he'll certainly get the opportunity to do it for the rest of the season, and likely into next year as well. Should be playing every day at second base, and a big reason as to why Freddie Galvis was released, which we're going to talk about soon, was because the Blue Jays wanted to give Kevin Biggio all that at-bats and playing time, all those at-bats and playing time at second base. But yeah, it's a perfect segue into a pretty big news that came out this week. Freddie Galvis was released on Monday and picked up by the Reds off waivers. And Freddie Galvis, in his first 2 games with the Reds, has been tearing the cover off the ball. He's 5 for his first 6, got a home run and 2 RBIs. Obviously a very small sample size, but very impressive. This was a very surprising move to me because Freddie Galvis had been having a very solid year for the Blue Jays. And the fact that he wasn't traded at the deadline when he wasn't really in their plans was a little surprising to me. I was surprised that he wasn't moved in the first place. But it's a little unfortunate that they didn't get nothing for him. Before I go, what was your reaction with this news?
I was very odd and surprising in my opinion. I was quite shocked. But with a new waiver system, the new trade deadline, reading more into it, I'm not so shocked, and certainly I think they did Freddie a favor. But before I start that, just to say, Freddie, when he was signed in January, I really fondly remember I was sitting at work and I just hear the notifications, Freddie Galvis get signed, and not thinking much of it, just thinking he would be a backup for this team, but he was a very pleasant surprise for the Blue Jays. I believe he He hit 267, 299.743 with 18 home runs and 54 RBIs and 450 at-bats. He played stellar infield and was a great mentor for the young guys. And